First of all, I want to thank you for all the support that you've given me over the past few ATS instructional videos. It really motivates me to move on and find new things to give you information about. It also really helps the channel when you like the videos and when you share them around with your friends. So if you know other people that need help with ATS and modding ATS, please feel free to share them in groups that allow it on Facebook or Discord or any of those types of things. It really helps my channel, and I really appreciate your support. In this video, we're going to show you how to implement empty loads on the Retinue by Corby that I'm doing for my patrons. This came about in the 1.39 update for American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator 2, so that the trailer can look like it's normal when you're dragging it around looking for your load. And this is only for ownable trailers, of course, because you wouldn't have a empty load on a regular trailer you'd be pulling around in the game that's not ownable. So I'm going to show you what def work needs to be done in the chassis file and how the model should look in Blender. So let's get started. All right, so I've loaded up the Retinue. You can see it all here, all the nodes, etc. This is the spread axle configuration. So what I had before, if you remember, it was basically an empty dunnage rack here when you were driving around with the trailer empty. The problem with this is the dunnage rack is to hold the things that you would use for the trailer once you put your load on it. So the fact that it's empty wouldn't be true to life. However, by contrast, you can't also, or you couldn't, at least in 1.38 and before, if you made this full, then you couldn't empty it to show that it was being used on the trailer on top for the load. So what they've done is they've added an empty load flag to the chassis, which is super awesome, because it allows you to have a little bit more realism when you're going to pick up your load. You're going to have your wood to place your whatever it is on to keep it off of the deck, as well as the stakes which go in the side holes up here. You can see them here in my circle. So the empty load is going to be, its root location is going to be where the cargo node is on the body. So in this case, right here, which as you can see is down at the bottom. SCS trailers put it up like on the deck and whatever. It just depends on what trailer you're using and where that cargo node is, but that's very important. The empty load is still going to be in the cargo location. That's where it's going to point to, so be wary of that. So now we have our empty load. So once I click this variant button, it's going to show up as, you're going to see all the portions where your straps and stuff should be, and the wood in the rack, as well as the stakes in the rack. So then when I put a load on, this disappears and the load gets added with the appropriate amount of wood removed from this rack, as well as the appropriate stakes removed from the rack if necessary. At any rate, so that's really all you have to do, is make sure that you have whatever you want in your empty load placed on the trailer, and then by contrast, once you load your cargo, which we will do here. Let's see, so I'll put the concrete on. So now the concrete is there. So we're going to remove this empty load like so, and then we're going to click on the cargo, turn off the spiff, turn off the 4, and then turn off the default. So now you'll see that you see the straps in here with some hooks, as well as I can turn this collision off so you can see that. And then I've removed, I think, 9 pieces of wood I'm using up here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They're different colors. I have to fix that. But anyway, and there's no stakes used because the straps are holding it down. The stakes are usually used for logs or for the Conestoga or the side kit or a few other loads, but not any of the normal flatbed loads. So that's how that looks once you've gotten that loaded up like so. So now we can delete that. Whoops, we can't do that yet because we got to turn these back on. And just for example, we'll do one more. That is not the button I wanted. For example, the coil. So let's make sure we have the 4 and the spiff 2 off. Now you can see I have these strapped down. 2 pieces of wood strapped on the ends, as well as tied down underneath with chains. And that's how that sits. So you have 2 pieces of wood taken from the stack. None of those. You're ready to rock. Now, what does the def side look like? Well, let's have a look at that. Bring this over here. Def. Vehicle. Trailer owned. Chassis. Click on the spread. Oh, it's not in here. Sorry. My mistake. My mistake. It's in body, I think. Whoops. Here we are. So it's per body. So here you saw I was working it with empty load 2. You're going to have this empty cargo model : That's the part you need in the body. So it's pointing to this, which is now in trailer cargo. So let's look at that. So if we go here, trailer cargo, empty load 2. That's it. Accessory cargo data, empty L2. For this is the model I exported it to. Look and variant default. That's it. That's all there is to that. You have to do that for every body that you have. And you also have to do it for every variant of that body that you have. So I have multiple variants of each body, as you can imagine. I have the spiff 2, the PNW, and the spread. Plus I have the undermount airlines for each one of those. So you're going to have 8 of those as well. So you get 8 body variants that need to go on to the different chassis. So you need to make a empty load that is compatible with all of those. Your trailer may be simpler. Maybe you only have a spread and undermounts. So you have 2 different variants maybe. But this is probably one of the more complex trailers of the variant situation and so on. So that's what that's what it looks like. All right, so here we are in game, having a look at the trailer. I already have this one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to configure it, and I'll show you what it looks like in game. So the side kit I have like this. It's already using all the stakes, so the stakes are removed. If I put on the flatbed, you can see everything is loaded into the dunnage rack, and the where you put the straps here are also enabled. So that's what it should look like in game, and then obviously when you pick up a load, it'll show up. This will disappear, and it will remove the appropriate amount of wood like I showed you in Blender earlier. So now this is not empty when you're dragging it around, so it is more realistic. So here's the finished product in game. As you can see, the wood is in the dunnage rack as it should be, as well as the stakes below. I hope you found this video helpful to you, and I hope you'll be able to implement empty loads on the trailers that you would like to see kind of redone and made a little bit more realistic. And thank you as always for the support. Please like this video and subscribe for more of these types of videos explaining updates and things that are going on within the ATS and ETS2 community, so we can all get a better understanding of what SCS is doing on the back end to help us have a more realistic game. Thanks guys, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.